Alright guys, we're back with another video. Thank you for joining me again. Today I'm putting in some new carpet. I can't wait for this to be done. I've done this before in this car. It's not the most enjoyable process, but it needs to be done. So let's get to it. Okay, so basically what I've done here is lay the old carpet over the new carpet. I'm just gonna cut slits in the in the bottom in the new carpet, so that I can kind of just get it into the car and then kind of feel around for the holes and the bolts and cut all those while it's in the car. That way it's a little more accurate, because I've got some spots on here that were a little funky that I never really liked. So we're gonna hopefully make sure that doesn't happen again. So with the shifter, all I'm gonna do here is cut an X, and I'm cutting a little bit smaller than the original, because you can always cut stuff bigger, but you can't cut it smaller. And then with this, since this is kind of funky, I guess I wanted to make this as tight as possible. I'm just going to cut a slit from front to back on that one. Now what I'm going to do is take this old, nasty, gross-ass carpet off of the new carpet. Got this a little dirty. Good thing I have a vacuum cleaner. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of fold this up and finagle it into the car. First, a couple of things I wanted to show you. To prepare for the new carpet, obviously you got the old stuff out. Got everything vacuumed out. Well, for the most part. There's still some stuff in here. I'll probably actually, before I turn the camera back on, I'll run the vacuum cleaner over this again, just to be on the safe side. I've been climbing inside and out of here doing stuff. So the other thing I wanted to note is that for all the speakers in the whole car, I ran good quality speaker cable, and then I've got my subwoofer signal cable and the subwoofer power cable. And one thing I didn't do when I put in the carpet the first time was you've got these little wire loom deals. I never put the stuff in there, so I just ran everything inside those. That should make life a little easier. And then back here, this little guy right here, this was just a little plastic cover thing. Just ran all the wires up under there. Makes for a much cleaner look. The other thing I just got done doing was I zip tied. I went ahead and zip tied all this stuff where it needs to go. I didn't want to run it all up under the dash. I probably should have, but at this point the wires aren't long enough, so I just zip tied it and stuck it in an area where it's not going to get in the way of my feet or anything like that, and I'll probably, move it around a little bit. But this other wire over here, there's really nothing to hold it in, so I'll just kind of tuck it up out of the way. And I went ahead and marked on my wires too, because I had no idea what cables went to what. So I'm going to get this thing vacuumed out one more time, and we'll come back when we're set to get the carpet in here. Okay, we're all set. This is going to be a little bit tricky because I can really only enter the car from one side comfortably. So this is going to be interesting. But basically, I've really only got room for like this view right here. So I'll do my best to explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it. If I miss anything, I might add it in some notes or something later on. But anyway, I need to get to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of fold this carpet up lengthwise, and then shove it in the car and work from there. Okay, so one thing I see right off the bat is the e-brake is getting in the way. So I'm going to cut that out a little bit. I'm not taking much off of it, just enough to get it, the carpet to lay where I want it. Basically with this stuff, you really just got to kind of like wrestle it around, adjust it, and get it to move into place. See, just gotta wrestle it around a little bit, get it to fit in there. It's pretty much in the places I want. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and cut out this around here, around the e-brake, around the shifter. You're gonna have to cut these sides a little bit because they're a little long. You need to cut the holes for the seat to bolt into, both front and rear. These ones are easy. All I'm going to do is feel for the bolts and then cut the little slit and then push the carpet down over that slit. And I'll cut it going this way, so that way if I need to make any left to right adjustments, then I have a little bit of freedom to do that. And then you'll have to, of course, cut the things for the back seat to mount on. And I may have to trim up by like the kick panels and stuff like that a little bit, but that stuff is all pretty self-explanatory. Once you get in here, oh, and you'll have to hit the seatbelt things too. Once you get in here and really, you know, get down to it with this thing, you'll see what you need to do. The hardest part is just kind of fitting it in, getting the carpet in the car correctly in the first place, because if you don't do that, then it kind of makes your life a little more difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work on all this stuff off camera. It's probably going to take me a little while to get all this stuff in here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm sure that there's going to be some wrinkles left over, and what I'll probably do once everything is all trimmed is just grab a hair dryer and then, you know, heat it up a little bit, get some of those wrinkles out, make it look a little better, get all the interior stuff back in, vacuum her out, and we'll be good to go. So I will turn the camera back on once I kind of start putting everything back together. Okay, so as you can kind of see, the carpet is mostly in. I don't have all the holes cut yet. What I'm gonna do though, I'm having a bit of a hard time getting it to tuck into the corners the way that I want it to. It's pretty chilly out here today, so a lot of times that can have an effect on how well or not well the stuff sits in here. So I'm gonna take a little space heater and I'm gonna toss it in the back of the car and just run it for, I don't know, 20-30 minutes, and get this stuff to hopefully soften up a little bit so I can work with it a little bit better. But everything's pretty much where it needs to be. I just need to work out some of these wrinkles and stuff, and then I'll just punch out all the bolt holes and start throwing everything back together. Okay, so carpet's in. I got one of the seats in. Sorry I didn't film it. I just kind of got on a roll cutting holes and all that kind of stuff. Boy, I'll tell you, remember when you're putting these seats in, bolt them from the front first. That way you can kind of push them around and get these get the brackets to line up, because these old brackets, they get bent and all that kind of stuff. They don't want to line up right away. I just got done wrestling the crap out of that passenger seat. So next step is to put in the center console, get that all situated, and then I'll get that driver's seat in there. I just need to do the passenger seat first because I can't put it in from the other side because I don't have the room. But no big deal, that one's in, we're good to go there. I'll show it to you, but it's not done. I'm gonna finish it up in the morning. As you can see, it's gotten dark. I was working with the gigantic beating stick flashlight here, so I'm not gonna mess around with not being able to see inside the car, especially with that black carpet now. It's like impossible to see anything. So that's gonna get rolling in the morning, and we'll turn the camera back on for that one as well. But for right now, I'll just show you what I got done. All right, now this is tough to see without a little light, and yeah, it's a little dirty. I got bolts and razor blades and tools and stuff like that all over the place, but it's looking pretty good. We'll see once the rest of it gets in here. One thing you're gonna definitely want, that guy right there, that's an awl, and it's really pokey, and you're gonna want that for the seat, the holes for the bolts to go through where the seats connect, because otherwise it's real difficult to find those things. You don't want to cut the holes too big. So anyway, we'll get this rolling again tomorrow morning when we're putting everything else back together.